I didn't get it on yet. I was in the middle of working on it, and then this medical emergency arose. Run over there. Before Dale goes in the house, tell him I want to talk to him.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Does Mr. Dale have your chainsaw thing?
Chain?
Yeah.
He ordered it. It's not in yet.
You have to pay for it?
Yeah. I was hoping it was going to be free, but you know, the funny thing is, they don't give away things for free. He has to pay for it, so I have to pay for it. What do you think about that? What a raw deal, huh? Well, I don't like this.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Peter chose these boats, so I don't like it just because he picked them out. I wish you would pick them out instead.
No, why don't you like it?
Tell you why. When I tighten this down, it's cracking this fiberglass even more, so I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a.
What?
I'm gonna get a piece of metal. I'm going to make a plate to go here. That's going to go into this and make that all stronger. So.
When?
Let me get a shot of that.
When?
When? Gwen who? Did you say when or Gwen?
When? It's still playing.
Oh, it's still recording? I left it recording the whole time I was gone? This is going to be a mile long. You know what? Let me pause it here. Alright, I've repositioned the camera because I wanted to show why I'm going to stop right here. This is the first bolt that I put in, and I've got a good sized washer on there and a lock washer, but as I started tightening it, I could literally hear it starting to crush and crack this fiberglass. So based on the fact that that's doing that, and also on the other side here where these clamps get clamped down, and this one here to a lesser extent, that's actually crushing this also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this back off, and I'm going to get a piece of metal plate, and I'm going to drill the metal plate with hole locations so that these bolts will go through the metal plate, and then also the metal plate will sit underneath these clamping points right here and distribute the force of the clamps more evenly over much more space, and hopefully that'll help. You know, if I get to a point where I'm going to regularly use this motor on this boat, then I'll get into a much more serious repair of this transom. But for now, I'm going to go with what we got. So it's starting to get... What? What's up? No, what do you... Go ahead.
You could use the other boat for this engine. You could use the other engine for that boat.
You know what the... Yeah, I know, but... I don't know. I actually like this boat because it's made by the Old Town Canoe Company of Old Town, Maine. That makes it kind of cool. It is in really rough shape. Don't forget, I broke the steering wheel on the other boat too.
Yeah, you can put a different steering wheel.
Yeah, that boat's in really rough shape too. Alright, so the boat my son was just talking about is this boat here, which is part of my Ugly Boat series project I never finished. This had a Johnson 60 horse, I think, or 40. An even older Johnson outboard, a 3-cylinder. A 3-cylinder with 3 carbs on it. And it had a big lower unit on it. Anyways, there's quite a bit of junk piled in and around this boat because my youngest son has been playing, I don't know, Captain's Courageous on it or something. I don't know what he's doing here. He's got a rope tied to a tree. What's that all about? Do you think it's going to drift away?
No, it was falling down.
Well, so those of you more astute observers might even recognize this boat. This is a Glastron. I think this boat is called the GT 140 or something like that. I guess they made a couple in the series. Unfortunately, I had a mishap. I had the loader parked over the boat and left it that way, and then what happened was the loader, the hydraulics, bled down and allowed the loader to push on the steering wheel and snap the steering wheel. But I mean, this boat was in really rough shape anyways. He's got my son put a washing machine tub in here. That's interesting. All right, so this is a this is an unfortunate waste of a boat, because somebody with the time and the motivation and the talent could have maybe done something neat with this boat. This has got an interesting hull design. There's like a ton of poison ivy over here, so I don't really want to walk over to the other side, so I can't really show you. But there's an interesting double hull design, which is supposed to make this boat very stable at high speed. This boat, the other big problem with this boat, as you may have noticed, is there's no windshield. The windshield was missing when I got this boat. When I got this boat, whoever had it clearly was in the process of trying to restore it, because they had removed a lot of the hardware and the windshield, making me think they were getting ready to paint it, and they had put it inside the boat. So a lot of the hardware was in there, but the windshield's completely missing. The larger version of this same boat actually, I believe, set some sort of a record at one point for a boat jump. I think it was in Live and Let Die, one of the Roger Moore James Bond movies. There's a scene where there's a Glastron outboard that does a jump, and I believe that's actually this boat, or well, the larger version of this same series of boat. So, a little factoid there that you may or may not find interesting.
Daddy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, wonderful.
Let's see if this works.
We found a lovely drop light inside that boat. It looks like somebody put cable. Now that's interesting. It's that bulb that's in there.
It's a regular bulb.
I don't think you can I wonder, can you even light a 120 volt incandescent bulb on a 12 volt battery? Why would that work?
Let's see it.
All right, Aiden. What were you asking?
Does black go right here?
Well, see, that's negative.
Yeah.
So black would go on negative, red goes on positive. In actuality, because this is a light bulb,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Polarity, which is making sure that you have the positive to the positive, negative to the negative, that's important for most things. But for a bulb like this, it's not. Now, just because this doesn't light, I mean, first of all, we don't know if this bulb is good. Second of all, we don't know if the switch is good.
How do you put it on?
Third of all, we don't know whether or not these connections are going to be good. There's a bazillion variables here. We can pull this apart a little more. So, ideally, if we could get a good connection. Ooh, look at that. Well, there's something I never knew. This is either a special bulb, or you can light a 120 volt bulb off of. You know what this might be?
What?
This might be an appliance bulb. See, appliance bulbs, I think, are lower voltage. They're low voltage AC, but they would work okay on low voltage DC. The reason why I don't think this is a regular bulb, even though it looks like a regular 120 volt incandescent bulb, is usually there's a circle on top here. It says how many watts it is and everything.
What do you see?
I don't see anything. I hear something.
It's a bird.
It's a bear. You know what it is? It's squirrels. They're going after those shagbark hickory nuts. Having a grand old time. Well, somewhere on this bulb there must be some marking.
Let me see it.
What's this say?
Wait, let me see it.
Uncoil before using.
That's what I did.
I wonder why it's important to uncoil the wire. Alright, let's see. avoid disconnecting, blah, 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 blah. Use. Yeah, it says right here, use only 50 watt 12 volt or smaller bulb. So this is a 50 watt 12 volt bulb. I didn't even know they made such a thing. How do you like that? You learn something new. The other thing that's a miracle is that this thing's been sitting out here for who knows how long in the rain and everything else, and it still works.
Maybe it's waterproof.
Huh?
Maybe it's waterproof.
Well, maybe. Somewhat waterproof. Look at that. Could even use this out here while you're working on the tractor. Hey, this thing won't start. Ooh.
You could use it downstairs in the basement.
Well, I don't have a lot of 12 volt sources in the basement, do I?
Charge your battery.
You know what I'm thinking, right?
What?
Oh, look at that. That's so rusty that just the clamping force alone made that bend. So to fix this properly, we'd have to put a couple of new clips on there.
Are you?
I really don't have much use for a light like this.
So,
But I wouldn't be a true hoarder if I threw this out, right? So I better keep it.
what if there's a Sharknado?
Do you think we should throw it back in the, if there's a Sharknado?
Yeah, you
That would be
need-
important to have a light like this?
Yeah. You can see the sharks coming at you.
Mm.
I watched the movie Sharknado.
I wouldn't brag about that.
Peter Mark had it.
Well, their life is better for it. All right, before I go in for the night, I want to measure the distance between the two bolt holes so that I know exactly where to drill the bolt holes for the plate that I'm going to make for here to cover this mess. And what I got is I got a couple of pins that are the diameter of these bolts that go through here, and I'm going to put one in each bracket hole. And then I'm going to use caliper. Is it?
Yes. Wait, up. Move it.
Try and keep the pin straight. You got the pin kind of straight?
Yeah, move it up more.
Oop, right there?
Yeah, I'll hold it.
Okay. Alright, hold on. Let me set the, there's a little screw I can tighten that keeps this from moving when I take it off. Go ahead. Let go.
Want to take the pin out?
Huh?
Want to take the pin out?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll take the other one out.
Okay, so you see how close that is? I found this metal plate that is pretty thick, and I think is going to do the job for me of being a backing plate for the outboard motor clamping area. But this end right here is just kind of rough cut, so I'm just going to square it up. I don't think it really, it's only a temporary thing anyways, but just for the heck of it, I don't like the way it looks. Well, I forgot to press record, but I did a rough cut, and I'm just going to do a finish cut. I brought the speed up on the cutter. Okay, so I'm going to, this is going to be the top edge of my bracket here, is top end of my plate, because there's a hole right here, and I'm worried about that might interfere with where I end up locating my holes. And I just went out and I set these calipers. I took a measurement from the eyeballing the center line of the bolt hole on the bracket to not quite the underside of the bracket that rests on the boat. The reason why I didn't go all the way up to the bracket is because there's actually a rounded edge on the bracket, and I'm worried about that. You know, this is kind of, it's got a little bit of a bevel to it, but I want to give myself a little bit of extra room there. So I took that into account, and now I'm just going to scribe a line. Okay, so my two holes, I'm going to make sure that they're on this line. Alright, so the other night when I took this measurement, I took it from the two pins set in the holes, outside to outside. Okay, so what I want to do is, if I subtract the diameter of one of these pins from my overall measurement, that will give me my center line distance between the two holes. So this is a 3/8 pin, so 0.375. So I want to take away 375 thousandths. I'm at 9.350. So that's easy enough. So if I go right to 9, and take away another 25 thou. So, in other words, what I just did there was I had taken originally the distance between the outside of this pin and the outside of this pin, which if I had taken the distance from one side, from the same side of the pin, both pins, that would be the same as the center line distance. Okay? Does that make sense? Well, it makes sense to me, so. Alright, so basically, let's see, I got 8.975. So I want to place two holes on this plate 8.975 inches apart. Now, do I care if they're exactly the same distance away from the edge of the plate on both sides? No, not really, but do I care if they're, you know, close? So they look kind of equidistant? Yeah, why not? But I'm just going to eyeball it. And I'm just going to hold the calipers, scribe a line, then hold this end, scribe a line, and where my two lines cross, that's where I'm going to drill my holes. And I'm going to drill the holes slightly oversized, so I got a little bit of a fudge factor. All right, today I've decided I'm going to put that my new makeshift plate in. So I've got my chain fold hooked back up, take the weight off so that I can loosen these clamps.
Do I have to move the engine up?
No, that's okay. Ow!
Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright, thanks. Alright, see if I can get a bolt through there. Alright. Quick trip to the auto parts store and got myself another 3-inch bolt. So I got a pair of 3-inch bolts, which I'm going to be able to use for the top here. And then I can use the 2.5-inch ones for underneath.
Underneath what?
Hmm?
Underneath what? Daddy, do you need one of these? The walking one?
What's the wrong size?
What size is it?
This size here. There you go.
What do you need?
The other bolt I had. It's in my back pocket. Okay.
What?
Stupid hood.
Can I wear the jacket?
Why, are you cold?
Yeah.
That's weird.
What?
Doesn't seem to be very close to lined up.
No, you can put it in this way.
No, we talked about that.
Why?
The bracket's in the way. See? I can't do that. No, that hole's lined up on that side. Feels like it.
Maybe you can just drill a hole right through it.
Well, I want to keep drilling holes in the transom and it'll make it weak.
What are you doing?
Got this punch right here. It's got a taper to it, so.
What's the paper?
Well, it starts out really skinny and gets thicker, so if I can get this in there, it might help me get this lined up.
Try to put the bolt in.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. All of that measuring I did, and it looks like I goofed because it's off. All right, so.
Smells like something's been burning.
It's the oil burning. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to loosen the vise and shift this down because the table hits the side of the welder over there. That's why I want to move this eventually out of here.
Where are you gonna move it?
I'm gonna move it over there.
How?
I'll manage somehow. I got it down here, didn't I?
Yeah, but how are you gonna? You got it with the backhoe. How are you gonna move it over there?
I didn't get it into the. We're standing right now with the backhoe.
You're gonna have to take it all apart.
No, I'm gonna put some pipes under it and try and roll it over there a little at a time, like the Egyptians when they were building the ancient pyramids. They were rolling those big, huge blocks with just manpower. They didn't have any machinery back then to do it. They used levers and inclined planes and
Wedges.
right. Well, a wedge is really an inclined plane. You think about it.
Daddy,
What is it, Mark?
you can use those fabulous rollers that you got.
Those would not. Those would.
roll. Oh, you mean those?
Those would crush
yeah,
in like
this would crush
seconds.
that.
Is that hot?
Yeah, probably getting warm.